Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's video. Bringing you all the way from Thailand. Alright, well, let's get this thing going. I said yesterday that we were going to go through everything. I kind of just don't want to right now. So, that's just the truth. I don't want to go through everything. So what I'll do is I'll do it tomorrow. Or maybe not tomorrow, but what I want to do is just talk about the majors. Only the majors today. And then tomorrow we could do like gold, silver, and all that. And we're going to include the indexes too in this video too, so we'll go over that really quickly. But I want to bring a more in-depth analysis on all the major pairs. What I'm going to be doing is how I literally mark out my charts and how I do it, so it might take a minute or two for each chart, but you know, I think it's cool for you guys to see how I personally do it. Not every way is perfect, but let's get this thing going. Let's start with the Euro USD. I clearly see that we're in this sideways market. We've broken this downward momentum line on the weekly chart, and we can see this weekly demand holding price. Big wick up, never stayed away, came right back down, respected it. So this is definitely telling me this is where demand is, and we don't have weekly demand or supply till way up here. But something I would be cautious of is if we go to the monthly chart, we are reacting off of monthly supply. So that's where I would have personally. I talked about this in my 2019 start of the year about projections of where I think it's going to go. We were like here, I said we're going to continue down because we're putting pressure on this monthly demand zone. So now that we finally broke it, we have that monthly supply up here. So even though we don't have weekly supply, anything quality up in here, it's a monthly zone, so I want to have it drawn out personally. So if we have that drawn out, if we go to the daily, this is going to be still pretty familiar with you guys since I've been talking about it for every time I've done this video. So if we go like that, I'm just drawing lines right now. Hold up. So we have daily demand right down there. We have fresh daily demand down there. These are areas that I would like to be looking for buys at. And then we have that daily supply up there and a fresh one up there. So why do I have that one up there? Well, it's the very extreme. It's sitting in monthly supply. We've broken this upward momentum line now by these candles. So this drop-based drop supply zone was a tradable zone at. Show you a level that I was targeting, but price never came back. I was targeting this, trying to get this pullback, but never got the pullback. There was some opportunities. I think there was one in there, I believe, and then there was one here on the 30-minute chart that I was eyeing at the whole start of it, which was this. But anyways, let's just keep going. We'll try to keep it to the weekly and daily chart, just talk about what's happening. But right now, this is how I would see it. We're in a weekly sideways, daily sideways, and we're higher time frame. Weekly supply. No. Break momentum line. So that just tells me when I write that, I've already done the analysis, so I can always just look at the chart and then read if there's any notes like, oh, boom, we're in a higher time frame monthly supply. Note that. So that's something I like to do. Let's keep going. Pound US dollar. I tried to get long this the other day, and the reason why I got long this was we were sitting in monthly demand right here. I'm not going too fast for you guys. So we had like this monthly demand down here, tested once, coming in for that second test. Weekly, this was weekly, but it's tested, so I wouldn't really put too much emphasis on it. So I really like that weekly down there. Let me put it in this box. So I like to do my rectangles like that. So like that, and then my weekly supply would clearly be up here. Something like that. And then I also have this area I'm watching on weekly. So So we know that we're coming into monthly demand. We still have room to go to weekly demand, and we probably could go a little bit deeper. Then the reason why I like that long is because we broke that downward momentum line. We removed supply, and I was trying to pick up the very extreme here on the 1 hour. I'll go to the 1 hour really quick. So I was trying to pick up that right in there. It worked out for a little bit, but then it dropped, so it took me out of it. And there's one more trade I'm in too, but we'll get to it because it's a pair that we're going to do an analysis on. If we do a daily time frame, now you clearly see we have this daily supply in control, and we have all that daily up there. Is there any daily demand? Let's see. Just keep scrolling backwards. Tested, tested. We really don't have buying till all the way down here. Move it up like that. And I'm probably going to get a little hidden zone in there too, to be honest. But right now, if we are in a daily downtrend, we got room to go. Weekly downtrend, note we are sitting in higher time frame. Definitely watching these two levels for possible shorts, maybe on the 1 hour. So, let me do my little note. Weekly downtrend. I'll just do DT for short. Daily downtrend. Price at monthly demand. So once again, that just lets me know what my thought process is with I can look at one time frame and I know what the trend is. I know where these levels, the rectangles, are my weekly zones. Lets me know what's going on higher picture. Aussie USD. Alright, we've talked about this one many times now, but I love talking about it. We got weekly supply up there. We have this current weekly supply playing out right now. You could draw it like that, or you could extend it down there. So, I don't know. We'll keep it like that for now. Since technically this was the original drop in price, because I say it's the original drop. You wouldn't be wrong to include that candle too, but we did a drop base drop. It gapped down, then we came back up right away and tested and then dropped. So that is kind of where the orders are sitting. But you wouldn't be wrong to go like that. It would just be more aggressive. So we had that. My analysis was that we were in that weekly downtrend, creating higher, lower lows, lower highs. We broke that by this candle right here. So that told me we were going into a sideways market on the weekly time frame. Hopefully this isn't too confusing. But this is what I do almost every day. Every 2 days I update the charts. Every 3 days. Oh, every 3 days. It's Wednesday, so that's what I'm doing today. So if we had this weekly supply, we came down, tested. If you want to call that a test, sure, but for this sake we won't. Tested once, dropped down, went lower down. That's great. That's awesome. And then price came up and broke it. Broke that high, little supply if you want to call it. And then we closed off with this candle outside of this momentum line, confirming that it was broken that downward momentum, telling us that the trend was changing. We've tested it once, tested it twice, and now we came down, reacted off of weekly demand, and now we're getting that rally up into that third test, potentially fourth test of that weekly zone. So on the daily time frame, there's no doubt about it that I do like that zone on the daily. And then I got that one up there, that one up there. This one right here is holding up. Draw it like that. This zone right there is what's holding up the last resort of that whole weekly supply zone. So if we want, we could draw it like that. So we knew, why was this supply? Because we broke this upward momentum line, debating on how I draw them personally and how I qualify my rules. So we had that uptrend line like that. We broke it. Let me just remove this one, because I know what's going on in the weekly. We broke it by breaking this candle. You know, we broke some demand, so there's no doubt about it based on the daily time frame about this was supply for me personally. Now demand, we reacted off of that demand right here, this rally-based rally. We broke this drop-based drop supply. You know, we have some demand down there, and demand down there. So right now we're inside daily supply. You wouldn't be wrong for looking for day trades. I know lots of people. I know some people that are long from down here, from here. Like from here they got this pullback, they went up, they went down, and now they're back up. And then I know people that are getting long at like 0.7 flat. And then I know people that got short up at like 0.7 up in this zone up here. So it's like, what the hell do you do? Some are taking long terms and some are taking short term setups. So either one is fine. Just understand what type of trade you're doing. Sitting in that daily supply. Let me just do a quick little blop blop. Weekly sideways / tested. And then we'll go daily sideways. There we go. So if we were looking for day trades, I was actually eyeing this. I know some people are looking again trying to get a pullback up into here, because we've removed all this demand, and that would give me obligation to be looking for shorts. But let's keep going. Oh wow, we still got more to go. New Zealand US dollar. Once we first see this chart, and boom, that's where my eyes go right away. We have that current supply zone intact right now. I think that's a monthly supply up here. I don't know, let's see. No, not really. Skip it, skip it. We got like monthly demand in here, I believe. But if we were to go monthly, weekly demand, you wouldn't be wrong to draw it like this. So if we know we're sideways, basically, we're moving this, we're coming up into daily, weekly supply. Actually, we're coming up into an uptrend now soon. But still, nonetheless, we're in an area where we want to be looking for shorts. This is a daily level that I would like to look at shorts at. And daily demand, rally base rally. And then we got these two levels on top of levels down here. So ultimately, this is like the best price to be buying at. This is a decent one right here, and then up here is where I'd be interested in selling at, possibly looking for sells. Let's see if there's any pullbacks. No, nothing too interesting. Sorry, I can just see it right away. So if we were to do our ... weekly, let's turn on the weekly sideways. Daily uptrend. That's all I'm going to write for that one. Let's go to USD yen. Aha. So when I first look at this, I'm seeing as we broke this drop base drop. Broke it. We created weekly demand down here. I know it's very tough to see. And then weekly supply. We have some weekly supply up there, but going to keep it up to here. So if we know that trend's sideways, and you guys know that I had this level drawn out like this, like that, we were in that daily uptrend, weekly was turning over, we had this drop base rally marked off, and we had this zone down here. We now broke this level right here, this upward momentum by this candle, so we now have supply there like that. So it's a good enough profit margin for day trades. I remember I was trying to find shorts or longs in here, but I couldn't. There might be a possible opportunity in there. I remember I was trying to get long down in here, but I wanted to see this supply zone. We can see it pretty well. I wanted to see this getting removed first before I catch that pullback, but it never happened. It's okay. So even still, we're still by weekly demand too. So weekly sideways. So we'll do something like that. just telling me what's happening. USD Swiss. Yes, this is the one I'm currently short. Weekly. We don't have weekly demand till down here. Switch up these colors really quick. Yeah, mark it off something like that. So we got weekly demand down there. You can see how quick it came back up. Weekly supply. You know, you wouldn't be wrong with that. Would be like the best way to mark it out like that. You wouldn't be wrong to do that either. We'll leave it like that for now. The reason I would keep it like that is just because we had a drop-based drop, rallied up right away into this area, and then before that we had this big drop in price, this candle right here. It shot up and then it went up and down. So it kind of told me where the orders are sitting. So if we know we're in a weekly downtrend, let me switch this up really quick. Weekly downtrend. Beautiful daily supply there. We had this rally-based rally demand zone. We broke it. So that told me, ooh, we created supply here and we created supply here. So that's why I like those areas to sell at. And then we went to the 4 hour and I was targeting this level right here. So short down there, I took only one position out of 2 to 1, and I might be eyeing this one too, potentially. We'll figure it out. So what was I going to do? Let's see. I was going to say this. Weekly downtrend, daily sideways. That just keeps me, like I said before, this just kind of tells me by looking at one time frame where we are, what it's doing, if there's any extra notes I want to put on it, what type of trade I might be looking for. So I could look for a swing trade or a day trade. Last one, we'll do USD CAD. This Canadian has been on a tear lately. Weekly, I'm not going to really draw the weekly zones. There's no weekly zones till way lower. If we use the daily, let's look for demand first. Nope, this is a test of this. Tested, tested. So the next daily demand that I feel buying at is not till way down there. And we're clearly creating lower lows and lower highs. I would mark it out like that. In that downtrend right now, I'd have my momentum line like something like this. I don't see, oof, not a fan of that big wick. I shot up and then came down, just kind of cleared the orders. Yeah, not a big fan of that. But that's what my daily chart would look like. We clearly have room to go. Let me just go daily. Daily downtrend. I'm just going to write little TDA, top-down analysis. So that lets me know if I write that I should do a top-down analysis, go through my charts and see what's happening. Usually I say that when I'm not if it's not, I don't want to say if I'm not sure, but like if there's anything else I should be cautious of, opposing levels, what's price doing, anything like that. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all we're gonna do. But let's have a quick look at gold because we talked about that move yesterday. Let's get a little update. Looks like it's broke down. We said we possibly might break up because we had these lines drawn out, something like that, and something like that. And I said usually we get a big pop down or pop up. I projected it would be a pop up. Looks like we've gotten a pop down. That's okay. That's a quick little update on that. And that's it. We're going to wrap it up with that. All right. Thanks, guys, very much. If there's anything you guys want, tomorrow or the next day, we'll go over oil, gold, any of the miners, too. And I don't know. We'll figure it out. Just going to whatever I feel like. But if there's anything you guys request, just drop it in the comments, and we'll go from there. All right. That's it, guys. Bye-bye. Cheers.